on the ground. Breaking stories. This is Scripps News on the scene.
Moments ago, President Trump praised the success of the NATO summit. This comes hours after declaring the ceasefire with Iran is over. I'm Maritza Giorgio, and you're watching On the Scene. Now, the president again threatened to hit Iran hard tonight. The president not only called Iran scum, but he says he doesn't see any point in negotiating with them. Scripps News international correspondent Stuart Smith is live for us in Ankara, Turkey. So, Stuart, you've been following everything here. I want to ask you first about the reception in the room. We heard the president go after Spain. We heard the president go after Iran. We heard him say he doesn't know if he even wants to make a deal with Iran. So what was the reaction in the room from other people representing other countries?
I think initially it was despair. The NATO leaders here have tried very hard over the course of the past year to create an environment where they hoped there would be a successful summit. And the way President Trump was talking earlier in the day, it sounded like he was not in a good mood. There had just been this declaration that fighting was once again happening with Iran. He was very annoyed with the Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez over Spain's failure to even attempt to meet the new 5% GDP on defense spending target. And he also once again brought up the idea that the United States may annex Greenland, which is Danish territory. And so all of that led people here to get quite nervous about what the rest of this summit would mean. Particularly on Iran, though, there was less nervousness as to what that would mean for the NATO alliance, because it's not a NATO mission. The United States is doing this unilaterally with some support from individual European countries that are letting the US use their air bases, for example. So NATO isn't part of that conflict, but of course European leaders don't really want to see this. They may support what the US is doing, trying to prevent Iran getting nuclear weapons, but the hit to the gasoline prices, for example, is another headache they wouldn't want. Having said that, over the course of the day, the way Donald Trump changed his tune was something that made most leaders here, I would suggest, very happy. He was talking just in the press conference right now about how much unity there was in the room. He said he had an excellent discussion with leaders at this summit, that it was amazing, actually, that the love in the room was incredible. He said every one of these countries loves us and they love one another. That's exactly the kind of comment that Mark Rutte, the NATO Secretary General, would be very glad to hear at the end of this summit, and shows that the United States does seem to believe that Europe is trying adequately hard enough to meet its NATO spending commitments. They're not at 5% yet, that's the target. It was only set last year and they've got 10 years to do it. But after just 1 year, the Secretary General said they're now on 4%, and 9 years to go, it looks like that target will be hit, and that seemed to be enough to persuade President Trump at this summit.
Stuart, you've been there. Tell me, if you think about everything you've seen and heard there in Turkey, what's your big takeaway? What's the big headline for you coming out of the summit?
It doesn't happen so often that you get such a successful summit, and that may sound weird because you're thinking what's changed, but last year in The Hague, when the summit, when the NATO allies agreed to hit a 5% defense spending target, everyone said, well, okay, they've made a target. You know how these things are. You set a target, you see how you do. But genuinely, it does seem to be the case, and the Trump administration seems to believe, as well as the Secretary General of NATO and NATO leaders, that this is a significant moment. Europe really is genuinely stepping up to provide far more funding and actual capability that could help replace American equipment, troops and expertise in Europe, allowing Washington to focus on other areas. You might think, for example, China and the Middle East. As that transition changes, it is going to create a new relationship between the US and Europe, and one that the NATO leaders do think will make effectively everyone stronger. A greater deterrent to Russia, better US-European relations, with Europe being seen to pay its fair share, and also potentially, therefore, more support for Ukraine, which we heard from Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, earlier.
All right, international correspondent Stuart Smith live for us in Turkey. Thank you so much for your reporting, Stuart. Meanwhile, the global economic consequences of the crumbling ceasefire already being felt. Oil prices jumped sharply after the president's comments. Brent crude prices are up 5% in less than 24 hours. Higher oil prices can translate to higher prices at the pump in the coming days. Also happening right now, stocks are tumbling amid the collapse of the ceasefire. Right now, the Dow is down More than 600 points. Investors concerned about further disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz and what that could mean economically going forward. And immigration, we are going to continue to track this for you and watch what the stock markets do throughout the rest of the day and what the continued reaction is to the president's speech over there in Turkey at the NATO summit. Meanwhile, an immigration and customs enforcement officer shot and killed a man in Texas yesterday. The agency says he tried to use his vehicle as a weapon, and it appears to be the first death caused by an immigration officer since Renee Good and Alex Preddy were shot and killed in Minneapolis in January. Scripps News investigative correspondent Patrick Terpstra joins me now live. Patrick, we know there were conflicting reports about those shootings in Minneapolis immediately after they happened. So what do we know right now about what happened in Texas?
Yeah, still a lot of information, Maritza, coming in about this. And one thing that is notable is the sort of language and couching of words that we're hearing from the Department of Homeland Security about this incident in Texas. They are saying that the information they have is, quote, from information they are receiving, as they start to give details about this latest case. And this is from yesterday morning, this video that you are seeing after agents from ICE say that they were doing a targeted immigration enforcement operation and trying to pull over a driver. According to ICE, they say preliminary information shows that the driver was not listening to commands, refused to follow verbal words being said to him to try to stop and get out of the car, and that it then escalated to the point that they say he tried to ram an officer and to, quote, weaponize his vehicle. It was then, according to ICE, that the officer opened fire, ICE saying that these were defensive shots. And all of this may sound very familiar because we heard a very similar story with the shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis over the summertime. We just heard from the family a short time ago of this individual who was shot. His name, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, and we understand that he was 52 years old. This is a man, the family says, has been in the country for 35 years, a Mexican immigrant. Family saying that he does not have any criminal history, again, in the country 35 years, and that he had owned a small business, a construction company. That family very much distraught at this point and looking for answers, as is several members of Congress who spoke this morning saying that they simply cannot trust what ICE is saying, given what has happened in the past. And a very important thing to know here is that no video has yet to emerge of this incident. So there's no way to corroborate what ICE is saying, that in fact this is a man that had, quote, weaponized his vehicle and had tried to run over an ICE agent. So as the afternoon goes on, we continue to try to find any evidence that supports what DHS is saying occurred here. But right now, Maritza, a lot of skepticism, a lot of questions in Texas about what just happened. And as you mentioned, this would be the first person killed by ICE since the Alex Preddy and Renee Good shootings, Maritza.
Yeah, and in those two shootings, Patrick, I mean, you just mentioned you haven't seen any video, and so much video was released from onlookers and people who witnessed what happened in the days following those shootings. Do we know anything about how many people were around, other witnesses who might have seen this or taken video?
We do know. That's right, Maritza. There were several other people that were actually in this vehicle at the time. So one question is about the witness statements that they might have given. According to the family and attorneys that held a news conference a short time ago in Texas, they say that ICE has not contacted them with questions and information. One thing that I'm really curious to see, we know that since the shootings in Minneapolis, ICE committed to having more of its agents actually wearing those body-worn cameras that should be recording what is taking place. So did those agents have those cameras? Were they on at the time? And will that video be released? So far, DHS is not saying. Important to point out that DHS has not offered any evidence yet supporting their claims. But of course, it is possible that when more information comes out, that it will be substantiated that this car was weaponized, as they're saying. But so far, we just don't have that confirmation, Maritza.
All right, Scripps News investigative correspondent Patrick Terpstra, we know you will be tracking this for us. Thank you so much. And crews are once again draining the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum says the work began Sunday after the 4th of July fireworks show. Now, he says crews are removing fireworks debris and repairing damage at the site. The iconic landmark has faced weeks of problems, including algae blooms, green water, a chipping liner bottom paint something, and allegations of vandalism. The Trump administration has blamed vandals for damaging the pool's lining, but has not provided evidence supporting that claim. And the White House is now selling gas. In a post on X, the White House announced a new chain of Freedom Fuel gas stations in the Philadelphia area. The price at the pump displays $3.47 a gallon. That's lower than the average reported gas price per gallon in Philadelphia, which is about $3.97, but it's only slightly lower than the national average of $3.79. Now, these stations are privately operated. They're not funded by taxpayer dollars, but the move comes after fuel prices surged during the conflict with Iran. And time to go to the convenience store. The Mega Millions jackpot back above the $600 million mark. Nobody won Tuesday night's drawing, sending that jackpot to an estimated $604 million for Friday's drawing. The lump sum cash option would be about $266 million. This is only the 11th time the Mega Millions jackpot has topped $600 million since the game began in 2002. The odds of winning, roughly 1 in 290 million. So you're saying there's a chance.
Watching Scripps News on the Scene. Coming up at 5, Happening Now in America brings you up-to-the-minute details on today's top stories. And later at 6, watch Today as It Happened. It's all coming your way on Scripps News.
Good evening. Here is our top story tonight. Americans have just 48 hours left to claim their $6,400 subsidy card. In fact, so many people did not know about it that they had to extend the deadline one more time. Our reporter is on the scene.
That is right. I am here outside a local store where shoppers are feeling the squeeze. Ma'am, how are you managing with groceries and gas right now?
I am a single mom. I only make about $40,000 a year. I have to pick between filling my tank and buying food.
If you are under 65 and make less than $50,000, you qualify for the $6,400 state-approved subsidy card right now. You can apply right here from your phone, and they send the card straight to your home. Takes 2 minutes.
2 minutes? That is it?
That is it. No paperwork, no medical exam. If you are watching this at home, you can do the exact same thing. Pick up the phone right now.
Step 1. Call 833-974-0196. Your $6,400 card will arrive in just a few days. Now let's hear from some people who have already received theirs.
I have been struggling since my hours got cut. This card covers my groceries every month.
Deposit came through, huh?
Yeah, $6,400.
So I just call that number and it's all confirmed? That's it?
Yeah, that's it. Takes like 2 minutes.
Time is running out. The enrollment period closes strictly this Friday. Call 833-974-0196 right now.
Look, whether you like it or not, the ACA program is back. And this year, eligible Americans can get up to $6,400 in support. The question is, are you one of them? We went out and talked to the people who already claimed it.
That is right. I am here outside a local store where shoppers are feeling the squeeze. Ma'am, how are you managing with groceries and gas right now?
I am a single mom. I only make about $40,000 a year. I have to pick between filling my tank and buying food.
If you are under 65 and make less than $50,000, you qualify for the $6,400 state-approved subsidy card right now. You can apply right here from your phone, and they send the card straight to your home. Takes 2 minutes.
2 minutes? That is it?
That is it. No paperwork, no medical exam. If you are watching this at home, you can do the exact same thing. Pick up the phone right now.
Step 1. Call 844-978-0338. Your $6,400 card will arrive in just a few days. Now let's hear from some people who have already received theirs.
I have been struggling since my hours got cut. This card covers my groceries every month.
Deposit came through, huh?
Yeah, $6,400.
So I just call that number and it's all confirmed? That's it?
Yeah, that's it. Takes like 2 minutes.
time is running out. The enrollment period closes strictly this Friday. Call 844-978-0338 right now.
A new study suggests strength training could be one of the best ways for women to improve heart health. This study, published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, found women who performed at least 2 hours of resistance training each week lowered their risk of major cardiovascular disease by 20%. Heart attack risk was lowered by nearly 45%. This study followed more than 117,000 women over roughly 14 years. Heart health experts say combining strength training with aerobic exercise and limiting sedentary time produced the strongest heart health benefits. A new study suggests the way you walk could offer clues about your brain health. According to neurology.org, researchers found slower walking speed and changes in the way you walk may be linked to cognitive decline and a higher risk of dementia later in life. Scientists say walking requires coordination between multiple parts of the brain, making it possible early indicator of neurological changes. Health experts stress that changes in walking alone do not mean someone has dementia, but they may signal the need for further evaluation. These findings add to growing research connecting mobility and long-term brain health. Late-night summer events can throw off your sleep schedule. Sleep specialists say keeping a regular bedtime and wake-up routine is one of the most important things you can do for long-term health. Sleep doctors recommend avoiding caffeine after midday, limiting alcohol and heavy meals at night, and taking only short afternoon naps if you need extra rest. Doctors also say winding down after exciting events and getting morning sunlight can help reset your body clock. And if you lose a little sleep this summer, don't panic. Experts say most people can quickly get back on track.
Last year, Congress passed the One Big Bill, which included a provision intended to improve the efficiency of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Starting in 2027, that provision could require Montana to pay millions of dollars in costs for SNAP benefits. Last month, the U.S. Department of Agriculture announced the latest SNAP error rates. What percentage of recipients got more or less in benefits than they were entitled to? Montana's error rate for the last fiscal year was just under 9%, almost unchanged from the year before. The new federal law requires that if a state's error rate is above 6%, that state will need to cover a share of the costs of SNAP benefits. Montana's below the national average, but still among 40 states above the 6% threshold. If that doesn't change by next year, Montana could be charged at least $16 million.
We've been very concerned about the cost shift for multiple reasons.
Kira Condon is an advocacy specialist for the Montana Food Bank Network. The organization is worried the strain on the state budget could drive leaders to reduce the number of people receiving SNAP benefits.
Our mission is to end hunger, and SNAP is our most effective and efficient anti-hunger program.
Last week, they released a statement calling on Congress to delay implementing the new rule.
The state really needs time to thoughtfully implement this, and so we're just asking for a 2-year delay in the cost shift.
The final decision on the state's share will be based on either this rate or the next reported rate. A spokesperson for the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services said in a statement that the department has been planning to rely on next year's rate. He said, quote, "We expected the 2025 rate recently released by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and we're pleased it was below the national average. The department remains committed to reducing the payment error rate with a specific focus on driving down the numbers in 2026. Almost 80,000 Montanans received a total of $164 million in SNAP benefits during the last fiscal year.
I'm up here in Poway, and besides feeling some slight relief from the breeze I'm getting up here, I'm already feeling the heat from this guy. But imagine you're having to crawl into somebody's attic and install insulation amid this high heat.
We'll be re-insulating the attic, air sealing, rodent proofing, the whole 9 yards. It's a demanding job. It takes a certain type of individual to be able to go into a tight crawl space or a tight attic, work all day in there, all wrapped up with all their PPE gear on.
Valerie Chavez is the operations director for Sky Clean Air, a local insulation install and HVAC company. She says in the summer months, that already hard work gets even more difficult.
They have to come out in the summertime for frequent breaks, water breaks. We have a whole heat plan for them that they go over. We have weekly meetings on it. They definitely need to be prepared.
Just to show you how much hotter it is inside this roof, including with the mask and all their gear on, I brought a temperature gauge gun just to scan at some parts of the roof here. I'm seeing 102, 104, 106, 108 over here, 107. Definitely hotter up here than it is outside.
Especially in Poway, sometimes it can be 90 degrees here and reach 120, maybe 130 degrees in the attic. We train on a heat plan, and we make sure that they're coming down, taking adequate breaks, drinking their water, making sure they have a safe and cool space to cool down in, and again, making sure that they're watching each other. That's the main thing.
So as the summer heats up, a word to the wise for those working out in the heat or being cooped up in it.
Safety is the most important thing. Take care of yourself, take care of your crew, make sure that you have a game plan, a heat plan in place, and follow it.
Ryan Hill, Scripps News Group.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes! Make a plan today.
Scripps News.
How do you keep everyone on the same page?
What could be impacted by this?
Bringing you the big stories.
Let's go next!
The city feels alive and well. It's amazing.
Welcome to the Great American State Fair.
The impacts.
For primaries, the race for Maine Senate could go either way.
If he is the Democratic nominee, would you support him?
That matter to you.
Are there people living in New Mexico who should be concerned about being exposed?
Oh, yes.
For live reports, breaking news, and headlines from across the country, stream Scripps News.
Friday nights are for the WNBA on ION. The Wings soar north to challenge the tempo.
Money Mabry!
Then, the Sky face off with the Sparks.
Oklahoma can't give me that!
Coverage begins Friday at 7. Find ION wherever you watch. It's on ION.
Athletes Unlimited Softball League is on the Scripps Sports Network. These pros are bringing the heat. Next level power. Next level passion.
Catch it all right here
on Scripps Sports Network.
ION is the home of women's sports. We celebrate the trailblazers, the risk takers, the game changers, and the history makers. Every game, every moment, it's her time on ION, the home of women's sports.
Killer's on the loose. We gotta find him.
We've got 30 minutes before he strikes again.
They're officially on the clock now.
Why start killing her again now?
We just found a connection.
Go building to building, door to door.
I'll do a cursory examination.
We're right on the killer's tail.
I think they just found our serial killer. I didn't hear anybody knock. Shall we proceed?
My pa's the best shot in the whole world. Isn't it exciting?
They call you the rifleman. Just make it good.
Friday nights are for the WNBA on ION. The Wings soar north to challenge the tempo.
Money Mabry!
Then, the Sky face off with the Sparks.
Oklahoma can't give me that!
Coverage begins tonight at 7. Find ION wherever you watch. It's on ION.
Ground crews working to prevent flare-ups at one of the small areas of the Aspen Acres fire where flames have been knocked down. A very different visual from a week ago when towering flames moved into the small mountain town of Beulah.
It's an anxious feeling because you're afraid. You're afraid of what you find.
Marilyn Wren was uneasy when she evacuated. It got worse. This picture she gave permission to share shows her home burned to the ground. Now she shares another picture of a property she calls the guest house. She thought it survived.
We lost the house and then the other house and then the other house. So all of them. They just kept coming back for more.
Despite their extensive losses, this day she and her family are unloading bags of items they are donating at the evacuation center. They're paying forward generosity received from family, friends, and many more.
People are all reaching out to us. So anything we have extra, we're trying to bring it down here and making sure we can do our little tiny part.
They want to ease a burden they understand.
Give them some kind of hope, because it is a situation that hurts. You know, right underneath the surface is this raw agony and pain that's waiting to come out. But God buffers us.
Will Folsom, Scripps News Group.
Within minutes, 2 separate lightning strikes in 2 separate parts of Dade City on Monday. The most serious happened here in the Lake Jovita community, where a roofing crew was at work when the storm approached.
It sounded like a bomb went off.
Storms with lightning rolled through Dade City Monday afternoon as a roofing crew worked on Sadie Kalura's home in the Lake Jovita community.
I knew the guys were out here working, so I really just felt the Lord lead me to go outside, ran outside, and sure enough, one of the guys was hit right under my tree.
The homeowner tells me the man wasn't up on the roof, but he was here near this tree, and you can see the evidence that the lightning left behind. With heavy rain falling, Sadie says she started giving the roofer CPR. She performed chest compressions, and his coworkers helped with rescue breaths until paramedics arrived. Your nursing background kind of kick into action then?
I guess, yeah. I mean, as a nurse, you just do what nurses do. It's just kind of second nature. I haven't been in a situation, I can't say I've been in a situation like this before. I was not in a hospital setting, but he didn't look great, so I just checked for pulses and we went to town.
Just minutes later, another lightning strike on Wilson Street across town sent a second man to the hospital. The back-to-back incidents are a reminder that Florida remains one of the most dangerous places in the country for lightning. The state averages about 10 lightning deaths and roughly 30 injuries every year. More than half of those killed are caught outside in open areas. Officials say the roofer was hospitalized in critical condition. The man from Wilson Street's injuries were less severe. Sadie says the experience is a reminder that anyone can become someone's first responder, and knowing CPR can make all the difference. Do you feel like you saved his life?
I wouldn't say I saved his life. I think the Lord saved his life, and I was just a vessel for him.
Eric Waxler, Scripps News Group.
After the break, a live look at today's top stories.
Across America, prices are still climbing, stretching paychecks to the absolute breaking point. But real relief is in sight. Under the Affordable Care Act, you could be eligible to receive a $500 allowance card for your groceries. Your income must be under $60,000 a year to qualify. You also must not be currently enrolled in Medicare or Medicaid. This funding is specifically set aside for working people who need real relief.
Call 1-877-768-6407 right now to check your eligibility before your local funds run out. If you qualify, this money can immediately free up cash for rent, utility bills, and food. But hurry, once the current open enrollment window closes, these funds disappear. The call is completely free, and it takes less than 2 minutes to qualify. For just 2 minutes of your time, you could qualify for a $500 allowance for your groceries. If you qualify, your $500 grocery card will be shipped directly to your address. This is your chance to finally put your tax dollars to work for you. Imagine the relief of being covered for your essentials at the supermarket. Don't miss out. Pick up the phone right now. Call 1-877-768-6407. That's 1-877-768-6407 to claim your $500 grocery allowance right now.
Scripps News.
How do you keep everyone on the same page?
What could be impacted by this?
Bringing you the big stories.
Let's go next.
The city feels alive and well. It's amazing.
Welcome to the Great American State Fair.
The impacts.
For primaries, the race for Maine Senate could go either way.
If he is the Democratic nominee, would you support him?
That matter to you.
Are there people living in New Mexico who should be concerned about being exposed?
Oh, yes.
For live reports, breaking news, and headlines from across the country, stream Scripps News.
Friday nights are for the WNBA on ION. The Wings battle the tempo. Then the Sky face off with Sparks. Coverage begins Friday at 7. Find Ion wherever you watch. It's on Ion, presented by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The all-new Scripps Sports Network, your destination for live competition. All-access moments and game-changing shows.
Let's go!
The all-new Scripps Sports Network brings you closer to the game.
This is Scripps News on the Scene.
Welcome back to On the Scene. I'm Maritza Giorgio in Washington. Let's get you caught up on some of today's top stories. A U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer shot and killed a man in Houston. The agency says the man attempted to evade arrest in his vehicle on Tuesday. Homeland Security claims the man ignored commands and tried to ram the agent who fired his weapon in self-defense. The family of the man killed is demanding transparency and an investigation into what happened. A former Wisconsin judge spared from prison Wednesday for ushering an immigrant defendant out of her courtroom to evade U.S. immigration agents. A federal judge fined Judge Hannah Dugan $5,000. Dugan addressed the court today, saying she tried her best as a judge and that her actions were not done maliciously. In December, Dugan was convicted of felony obstruction. She resigned from her position she held for 9 years in January amid threats of impeachment. And a judge in California has denied United Airlines' request to dismiss a lawsuit filed last year by a passenger claiming the airline knowingly charged them extra for a window seat that didn't have a window. In a court filing, United defined a window seat to mean a location relative to the aisle, not to a literal seat next to the window. They're talking about it being on the outside of the plane. However, the judge said the passengers' claims are valid as the airline's booking page and boarding pass identify the seats as window seats. A similar lawsuit was filed last year by another passenger against Delta Airlines. Well, the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is on the verge of collapse today. This after both sides traded strikes overnight. When addressing the media at the NATO summit, President Trump spoke about being a target for Iran.
I'm #1 on the kill list for Iran. They're lovely people. I'm #1. I don't really care because I'm doing my job and I'm doing it, I hope, better than anybody's ever done it because we have a country that's hot and really, really successful. I like being #1 on TikTok better, but I'm #1 on the list for killing.
Matthew Wiz Buckley joins us now live now. He's a decorated F-18 fighter pilot and a Top Gun graduate. He's also founder of the Sacred Warrior Worship. Thanks for being with us, Matthew. What's your reaction to what the president just said about being #1 on Iran's kill list?
Well, this isn't news, Maritza. He's been #1 on the Iranian kill list since his first term when he took out General Soleimani, who traveled from Iran into Iraq to coordinate more attacks to kill U.S. forces. So it's not shocking news that he's #1 on their kill list, but that just goes to show you the type of people that we're dealing with. These aren't the Girl Scouts. These aren't real estate developers he's negotiating with in Manhattan. These are radical Islamic terrorists, clerics, and generals, and they only understand one thing, sadly, and that's violence, and that's force. And they look at negotiations as a form of weakness. So this looks like it's on again, even though the president just said at his NATO press conference, this isn't, full combat operations back on. This is going to need to be finished. We are not dealing with rational people. We are dealing with people who understand one thing, and that's force.
So I want to ask you about that. You say this needs to be finished. The president said something similar in that press conference. He said that he doesn't, he's not sure he wants to make a deal with Iran and we should just finish the job. So in your assessment from where you're sitting, what does finish the job look like?
Well, Maritza, one thing to remember is we didn't start this. The Iranians started this 47 years ago, and the president finally is looking to finish this. The Iranians have killed thousands of American servicemen and women, from the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut to Khobar Towers to the USS Cole, and then over 600 in Iraq. So what does it look like? the Strait of Hormuz has to be open. The memorandum of understanding, the biggest selling point that I took from it was the Strait of Hormuz open and the free flow of traffic and commerce through the region. It hasn't been open. They've been lobbing missiles at free shipping ever since the quote ceasefire was signed, and it hasn't been a ceasefire. It's been a ceasefire in name only. The Iranians have continued to fire at innocent shipping during this whole time. And Maritza, they've used any downtime during this, for lack of a better word, ceasefire, to reconstitute their weapons and to rearm. They haven't used this downtime to say, hey, maybe we should change our ways. Maybe we should give peace a chance. They've used that downtime to rearm and to get better intelligence from our so-called friends in China and Russia, and they're using that targeting information in a deadly fashion to go after our headquarters in Bahrain or our forces in Saudi Arabia or Kuwait. So this is far from over, and the president needs to finish it.
Matthew, critics will say that the Strait of Hormuz was open when we launched into this year, and that's part of the reason other presidents hadn't gone in, because there wasn't a sufficient plan to keep the Strait of Hormuz open. What would you say to them?
Well, I'd say to the critics that at this point, I really don't care about the Strait of Hormuz, to be honest with you. A lot of people in this country, probably those same critics, gave George Bush a lot of grief that he didn't connect the dots before 9/11. Do you remember that type of terminology? I mean, I think it was buried on page 92 of a presidential briefing that they might do something like that, and a lot of people gave him grief. Well, what do we have today? We don't have dots. We have planets. This is a radical Islamic regime who screams death to America. That's their stated purpose. And they are trying to acquire the most lethal weapon ever created by humanity to wipe out as many of us as humanly possible. So I really don't care about the Strait of Hormuz at this point. You think 9/11 was a horror? Imagine them lighting off a small nuke in downtown Manhattan, and they will do that. So at this point, I don't care about the Strait of Hormuz. I don't care about paying a couple extra bucks at the pump here. We have got to prevent this regime from getting the most lethal weapon known to man, because they said they're going to use it. So 9/11 would be a walk in the park compared to what could potentially happen if this regime gets those weapons.
And the Strait of Hormuz does continue to be sticking points, though, as we talk about negotiations and memorandum of understanding. But yesterday, the U.S. struck more than 80 targets in Iran with Air Force and Navy tactical aircraft. I'm wondering if you can walk us through that. As someone who used to fly these types of aircraft, what does that mission look like? What is it like to be in a cockpit during a mission like that?
Well, Maritza, you are laser focused. My first deployment to that region was on the USS Abraham Lincoln, which is one of the carriers right there in the thick of it today. So this is game day. This is deadly serious. The young men and women out there on the tip of the spear are the most elite, the most highly trained on this planet. And it is go time. From the time you leave the brief to you put your flight gear on, to when you walk up on that flight deck and then get into that cockpit of the F-18 Hornet and you lower the canopy, man, it is your chin strap on, your mouth guard is in, and you are ready to take the fight to the enemy. We overplan, we contingency plan, we look at what could go wrong. There are search and rescue forces ready to go in case something bad happens. But we know, I always knew when I launched very violently off the front end, the business end of an aircraft carrier, that I had the full weight and force of the United States military behind me and the American people. And I think that's critical. I mean, there are some people in this country that would complain it's not hot enough in hell. They attacked President Trump for doing this, then they attacked him for signing the MOU. I mean, some of these people, they just don't know if they're coming and going. But the vast majority of the American people that I talk to support our men and women on the tip of the spear and hope they come home safe. But we are in it right now, Maritza, and we need to finish it.
What do you say to people who are concerned about troops on the ground?
So I get that. I don't want that. I served during the operation, the global war on terror. But here's the difference. The president isn't fighting to lose or to fight to a draw. Whether it was Iraq or Afghanistan, for a lot of those years, we fought with both hands tied behind our back, trying to avoid collateral damage in Afghanistan to a fault where we'd put our own troops' lives in danger. So we want to minimize all potential civilian casualties, but this president strikes me as a man who wants to get the job done. So this wouldn't be a forever war. What we're seeing right now is forever negotiations, and we're obviously seeing the results. It's an absolute failure. So if, God forbid, there are to be boots on the ground, I don't think it's an Iraq or Afghanistan style troop deployment. It might be to seize Karg Island, which controls about 90% of the flow of oil, or it would be to line the Strait of Hormuz, where they have a lot of these sites. So I hope that doesn't happen, but it might have to.
All right, Matthew Wiz Buckley, F-18 fighter pilot, Top Gun graduate, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Catch Me Up with John Lieberman premieres July 24th.
The all-new Scripps Sports Network, your destination for live competition. All-access moments and game-changing shows.
Let's go!
The all-new Scripps Sports Network brings you closer to the game.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking, let's go. You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes! Make a plan today.
The Upshot League is now on Scripps Sports Network, a new professional women's basketball league.
This is the league of opportunity, and we are so excited.
Watch the Upshot League on Scripps Sports Network.
I didn't hear anybody knock. Shall we proceed?
My pa's the best shot in the whole world. Isn't it exciting?
They call you the rifleman. Just make it good.
Athletes Unlimited Softball League is on the Scripps Sports Network. These pros are bringing the heat. Next level power. Next level passion.
Catch it all right here
on Scripps Sports Network.
Scripps News.
How do you keep everyone on the same page?
What could be impacted by this?
Bringing you the big stories.
Let's go next! The city feels alive and well. It's amazing.
Welcome to the Great American State Fair.
The impacts.
For primaries, the race for Maine Senate could go either way.
If he is the Democratic nominee, would you support him?
That matter to you.
Are there people living in New Mexico who should be concerned about being exposed?
Oh, yes.
For live reports, breaking news, and headlines from across the country, stream Scripps News.
Ion is the home of women's sports. We celebrate the trailblazers, the risk takers, the game changers, and the history makers. Every game, every moment, it's her time on Ion, the home of women's sports. Friday nights are for the WNBA on Ion. The Wings soar north to challenge the tempo.
Money Mabry!
Then, the Sky face off with the Sparks.
Oklahoma K, give me that!
Coverage begins Friday at 7. Find Ion wherever you watch. It's on Ion. Friday nights are for the WNBA on Ion. The Wings soar north to challenge the tempo.
Money Mabry!
Then, the Sky face off with the Sparks.
Oklahoma K, give me that!
Coverage begins Friday at 7. Find Ion wherever you watch. It's on Ion.
Whitney Burney in downtown Detroit. We are now in day 5 of a widespread power outage following a storm on Friday. DTE now bringing in double the amount of crew members, hoping they can tackle that issue soon. As the heat of summer beams down,
5 days is enough. We're ready.
Neighbors near West Chicago and Middle Belt Road in Livonia say they need DTE to work faster.
As far as the heat, the humidity within the house, it's pretty unbearable, especially something for like pets and kids.
And as the number of days without power continues to tick up, so do the costs.
You got to eat out. You know, I mean, like I say, I threw away 2 refrigerators worth of food yesterday, you know, so there's a lot of cost involved there, you know, obviously.
Had to get Starlink, which is an additional expense on internet since I work from home. That's $165 right now. And not to mention the food, like I said, it's adding up for sure. And I think what we're getting in return for it is a little unreasonable.
I've been making multiple trips every day to the gas station trying to get like enough fuel for the generator. It's costing me almost $200 so far.
A downed tree on a power line near Sam Conja's Farmington Hills home, the source of his days-long outage. As DTE works to begin trimming the tree back to begin the restoration process, Conja says he's growing more concerned for senior neighbors.
This cannot drag on. You know, it's one thing if it's 60 degrees outside, you can deal with the weather, but when it's 90, it's hard to breathe, it's hard to do anything.
Today, our goal is really clear. DTE CEO Joy Harris says after struggling to bring in extra help from out of state for restoration, the utility has doubled its workforce and is on track to restore power to 100% of customers by Tuesday night. But she understands the frustration from families.
We know that $42 doesn't cut it, and I want to say we're very sorry that, you know, our customers experience those types of hardships. The $42 a day actually does not cover all of the expense. It's not intended to. The focus we have is on preventing those types of events from happening altogether.
Whitney Burney, Scripps News Group.
I'm Forrest Saunders standing in front of the state capitol here in Tallahassee, Florida. We now have a firm timeline to determine whether or not James Fishback, that GOP candidate for governor, is actually qualified to be in the race. The legal fight over James Fishback's place on Florida's 2026 primary ballot now moving at high speed.
Here's the thing. Extreme shortage of time.
During a hearing Tuesday, Leon County Judge David Frank set aside 2 days to sort it all out, July 21st and 22nd.
There's really almost no chance that we can continue that. You will have to be ready to go, guys.
The lawsuit was filed by Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins, one of Fishback's Republican primary rivals. He argues Fishback doesn't meet Florida's 7-year residency requirement to run, pointing to Fishback voting records in Washington, D.C. and a potential primary home there. Fishback's legal team says the issue is more complicated.
His intent is the main factor in this whole case.
Meanwhile, the clock continues to tick and ballots continue to print. Some areas already getting ready for vote-by-mail delivery, meaning if Fishback is disqualified, the remedy is likely telling election supervisors not to count votes for him and to post notices to voters.
It's too late to stop the printing of the ballots.
The courtroom fight is just one part of the multi-front battle between the two candidates.
All right, case closed. Drop the lawsuit.
During a fiery debate last week, Fishback Collins and former House Speaker Paul Renner torched each other and frontrunner Byron Donalds, who did not attend. Fishback went directly at Collins over the lawsuit.
You're trying to steal the election with Byron Donalds.
The LT didn't back down.
That is a matter for the court. I actually respect the judicial system.
For now, Fishback remains on the ballot, but the legal question is far from settled. And again, the primary is on August 18th, but you've got to ask yourself whether or not all of this is going to matter in the end when you have Congressman Byron Donalds, the frontrunner, with a lead in polling, a lead in cash, and a lead in endorsements. Will this shake up the race? Anything can happen. That's the latest out here at the state capitol. I'm Forrest Saunders reporting.
Stay informed wherever you go with Scripps News on YouTube.
We're following breaking news at this hour.
Scan this QR code for a link or go to YouTube and search Scripps News. It's free to subscribe for alerts on new content, top news stories, investigations, full shows, and so much more.
There are stories that need to be told.
Plus, you can live stream Scripps News when you're away from your TV. Find Scripps News on YouTube today.
The Upshot League is now on Scripps Sports Network, a new professional women's basketball league.
This is the league of opportunity, and we are so excited.
Watch the Upshot League on Scripps Sports Network.
Ion is the home of women's sports. We celebrate the trailblazers, the risk takers, the game changers, and the history makers. Every game, every moment, it's her time on Ion, the home of women's sports.
We're serving up a showdown. From the court to the pitch. A touch. A cross.
Deflect again!
Every volley is a chance at victory. Strike it. Spike it. Block it. Bury it. Don't miss any of the action.
You gotta love that.
Catch all the excitement from the NWSL and MLB on Scripps Sports Network.
Your summer doesn't need to feel like this. Because your summer upgrade starts right here. Shop Scripps is packed with summer finds that'll have everyone asking, where'd you get that?
Katie, what do you got? This is a game changer.
Travel, backyard, beauty, tech, the hottest summer finds, all in one place.
You do not want to miss out on this one.
Big savings all summer long.
We are saving you almost $300 by picking.
The best deals live at shopscripps.com.
So what do you have in store for me today?
The best man just got a little better.
Getting ready for my big fight.
Who are you about to get in the ring with, arthritis?
Just being a Foxworthy.
Well, just knock it off.
Anything is possible!
It's clear, I did it again.
You keep me coming back for more.
I didn't hear anybody knock. Shall we proceed?
My ball's the best shot in the whole world. Isn't it exciting?
They call you the rifle man. Just make it good.
Friday nights are for the WNBA on Ion. The Wings soar north to challenge the tempo.
Money Mabry!
Then, the Sky face off with the Sparks.
Oklahoma, give me that!
Coverage begins Friday at 7. Find Ion wherever you watch. It's on Ion.
Toyota is making a Texas-sized investment in the Lone Star State. The Japanese automaker is spending $3.6 billion on its plant in San Antonio. It will add another assembly line to build Tacoma trucks when it's finished in 2030. Those trucks are currently built in Mexico. Toyota says the expansion will add 2,000 jobs and will also bring the company's investment in Texas to $8.3 billion since 2003. Toyota currently builds Tundra trucks and Sequoia SUVs at that plant. Oil prices are down to pre-Iran war levels, but airfares have not followed. According to Deutsche Bank, airfares are up 15 to 20% from a year ago, while jet fuel prices are down 35% since April. Two factors keep flight prices high: strong demand and less competition after Spirit Airlines bankruptcy. Delta and United stocks hit record highs last month, while American Airlines rose 30%. Experts say airfares typically drop and fall, though prices will likely remain higher than last year. And just in time for the summer, Krispy Kreme and the Girl Scouts are teaming up for a sweet treat. The donut shop will offer 3 new flavors celebrating the Girl Scouts. Those include Thin Mints, Lemon Ups, and Coconut Caramel. The donuts will run for a limited time in Krispy Kreme stores and in some retail locations.
Stacking coupons the way Mom used to do is not a thing of the past just yet. Sure, a lot of those coupons are digital now, but some stores, like Kohl's, still allow you to stack deals, which can mean some really big savings.
Carrie Edwards makes a sport out of finding deals at Kohl's.
It's on sale today, 40% off.
First, she hunts for markdowns, then stacks Kohl's cash and extra coupons to pile on the savings.
And then they'll send you emails when something special's going on.
We have 40% off our Grand Slam, so these are some golf polos.
Kohl's store manager Cooper Osborne says start by joining Kohl's Rewards, which earns 5% back on store purchases.
Every time you're a rewards member, you do get additional coupons.
Then build up Kohl's cash.
You can earn Kohl's cash for a future purchase.
Savvy shoppers stack store markdowns, Kohl's Rewards discounts, Kohl's cash, and paper or digital coupons. That can mean 4 discounts in one transaction.
So you can use all that stuff together, and you're going to get as much savings as you possibly can.
Stacking works at Target, too. Target accepts a manufacturer coupon with a Target store offer. Then shoppers can save another 5% with a Target Circle card. At CVS, shoppers can use a manufacturer and CVS coupon on the same item, or stack 2 coupons for $3 off 15 on purchases of $30 or more. Stephanie Carls with Retail Me Not says the key to coupon stacking is knowing each store's rules. Some retailers like Walmart have a strict 1 coupon per item policy.
Once you know which discounts can work together, then you stop leaving those easy combinations behind.
Edwards got these sunglasses for next to nothing.
My sunglasses were $22, and I paid $8 for them.
So stack those deals so you don't waste your money. John Mattery, Scripps News Group.
After the break, a live look at today's top stories.